Hey, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good day, wherever you are in the world, whatever you're up to. Coffee cheers and hi. Welcome to this week's edition of Coffee Chat with me. I am Catherine Oster. I'm going to be chatting with you over my delicious, delightful coffee this morning. It's morning for me right now. And welcome to Friday, June 21st. If you are watching this live, it is the summer solstice in North America. So this is the longest day of the year, daylight-wise. It's a little bit disappointing because now the days start to get a little bit shorter every day as we move through summer into winter. However, it still stays light out for a long time. Good morning, who is live with me? Hello. And it's also the full moon, which I think it's really cool that they're lining up together. I'm not a huge astrology person, but I have been noticing it. Hello, Mom. Good morning. I have been noticing it, and I notice just the energies around me. Hey, Nicole. Good morning. Hi, Karen. Happy summer solstice / full moon, ladies. So, the full moon is it symbolizes completion and release. Like, what can you let go of today in your life? And that's what I kind of want to talk about, is this letting go. And the summer solstice, this is the summer solstice always occurs at the start of the Cancer season. I did some Google. The summer solstice reminds us to turn inward and find the nourishment we need to grow and evolve. It is a time to pause and wait for the energy that was planted in the spring to reach full bloom. If spring represents action, the summer represents patience, which is really cool. So we have the full moon, the release, the completion, and then we have the summer solstice. Hey, Maggie, good morning. The summer solstice reminding us to be patient, to turn inward, and allow the seeds that we planted in the spring to bloom. With the summer solstice and full moon, yeah, I know, it does feel like double the power, Nicole. Yes. And so, what I want to talk about today is like letting go. What can you let go of? In Access Consciousness, we have these conversations around the willingness to lose, which is letting go. And one period of my life that this really showed up for me was with my horse. If you guys have been with me for a few years, you would remember it was about this time 2 years ago where my horse injured herself. And I had high hopes of competition dreams with her, goals. We had found a coach. We were really making progress in our training. We were about to go into our first show. And I remember the lesson I had with my coach, like 3 days before she hurt herself. It was the best lesson, the best ride I'd ever had on her. And I remember sitting on her in my saddle in my lesson, riding this canter that was like powerful and peaceful at the same time. And I remember just in that moment, like seeing us in the big ring, going in for a pre-St. George or definitely a higher level class. And we were there. And I was like, oh my God, it's right there. And that's what I want to have with her. Now, 3 days later, she injured herself. And there was a lot of magic behind this injury, though. How there's the timing, the lineup of getting her to the vet, and she needed to have surgery. And I actually had the money. We actually had the money to pay for the surgery, which was not something that I would have had 2 years prior to that. And in her rest and recovery period, I struggled with letting her go. I struggled with letting go of my big dreams that I had with her. I struggled with letting go of the thoughts that I wasted my money on her surgery because it felt like she wasn't recovering. I struggled. It was a really big struggle. And I can see looking back, it was about letting go. It was about letting go of control, which is really hard for me with her. Um, she's always, she would never let me control her. The only way that we can work together is through communion, which is not control. And she showed me how to be that. And we were kind of getting there. The injury, I had to let go of all of these thoughts. I had to let go of control. I had to let go of the future that I wanted to have with her. And I finally got to this place where I was like, okay, what am I going to do with my horse, with her, if she never recovers from this and reaches performance ability again? What am I going to do with her? And then I started thinking, well, she's a mare. She can have a baby for me for the future. So I started going down that path. Now, the moment that I was finally willing to let go. Hey, Marilyn. Good morning, Tammy. The moment that I was finally willing to let go of that with her was when she started to heal and improve. And I'm not kidding you. Like all of a sudden, I started Googling stallions, and I actually did end up buying a weanling. But from that moment on, then these other things came together and she started walking better. We started getting the swelling down in her leg that had been there for like a month. We started all of these things. And I know that it was energetically my willingness to let go that created space for her to grow, for us. This is a her and I thing, for us to grow and heal and change together. Now, what that period, so I didn't ride her for 4 or 5 months. And in that period, she required intensive care. She was on stall rest. I needed to, be with her 2 or 3 times a day, hand walking her, getting her out, being with her. It was being. It was a period where I had to learn how to be with her, because prior up to that point, it was all about work and performance and control. So now, 2 years later, her and I, we are getting ready again to head into our first show in just a couple of weeks. And we are showing a level above of where we would have been showing 2 years ago. But the work we are getting is everything that I had been asking for, but didn't know how to get there. And she showed me with this injury where I had to learn how to let go so it can become greater. Our future is now going to be greater together. And she showed me how to be communion, not control. So it was hard. And this letting go thing is so challenging. And it can be something like an experience, maybe with a person in your life, with your body, with some dreams you have. You might be going through something where you have to let go of it in order for it to grow. And you have to let go of it in order for it to grow. Now I look back and I can see there was a choice point of where I went through this, where I could have stayed stuck in the despair, in the judgment. And I know if I would have stayed stuck there, she wouldn't have recovered. I don't think she would have, I don't know that for sure, but I know that in my gut. And that's what we need to learn. That's what you need to learn to go with, perceiving the energy, the feeling. So if you are struggling right now with something in your life, it feels like it's falling apart a little bit. That's what it felt like with my horse. It was falling apart. What are you not willing to let go of? That if you would let go of it, would allow it to grow and show up even greater. And And that's like, yeah, yes. Now, this can also show up. It's funny because there's how things kind of line up. So that's kind of the energetics of where I had to let go with my horse. There's also another thing going on right now on our farm where we're getting ready to host a family reunion. And my brother-in-law, he's cleaning at the shop. Trace and Helena are over there helping him. And I stopped by to see how things were going. He asked if I wanted to keep these things or if I needed these things for something. And I'm like, no, that's good. And he's like, God, you wouldn't believe how much stuff is in here. And he's like, I just wanted to hold on to it. I just wanted to hold on to it in case we needed it. And I'm like, yeah, there's a lot of things you can let go of. Sometimes, you know, if you haven't used it for like 3 or 4 years and you're like, what is this still here for? Now, there is the energy behind, I want to keep this, I want to hoard this because what if I need it in the future? That's not really a question that is operating from in the future, maybe that you're going to be lacking what you need rather than trusting that if you let this go, you're not going to miss it in the future. Something else will show up for you. Tammy, someone said to me yesterday, the cracks are what let the light in. Yes, the cracks of everything breaking apart and falling down around you. Yes, that's what lets the light in. Exactly. So he's working on letting go of stuff in the shop. And another friend of mine, she's been cleaning out her basement. And she's like, I can't believe all this stuff that I've been holding on to. And she's letting it go. She's clearing it out. There's going to be more space around her. She's going to feel differently in her house. Plus, she's having a yard sale, so it's going to generate some cash for her. So what can you let go of? I've also been going through my clothes, like my closet. And there are things that I haven't worn in like 3 or 4 years. And the energy that comes up is like, but what if I want to wear it again and it's gone? But I'm like, okay, you haven't worn it in 3 or 4 years. You know, part of that is letting go of the person I was 3 or 4 years ago and making room to grow. And part of it is like, well, not part of it, all of it is actually my willingness to let go of who I was 3 or 4 years ago and allowing myself to grow into the person that I am asking to become, into the life that I like, that I've been creating. So anyway, just different aspects of letting go. There's the physical letting go of things, which also has an energetic play behind it. And then there's maybe some energetics going on of letting go and letting things grow. So that is my chit chat for you guys today. Thank you so much for joining me live. And to those of you watching in the future, yeah, what can you let go of? Okay. If you have any questions or comments, you know where to find me. Send me a message. All the things, post in the comments, and have an amazing Friday, full moon, summer solstice. Cheers. Bye-bye for now.